welcome back to my channel. Sorry for this boring opening, but today I'm going to be sharing my science project that I've done on displacement reactions. For this specific science project, it was using the example of copper sulfate and iron, and then that displacing into iron sulfate and copper. So let's start. So we will start off with showing the different sections of my project. So there is the little comic that shows what happens in the displacement, and there is another comic that is basically personifying all the elements, and there is another section that is just showing all of the things that I need to do, and there are some other things as well. So we'll start off with my comic. So as I said before, this is basically just showing all the elements as people, and the blonde girl is sulfate, the boy is copper, and then this is just a little drawing, and then this is just personifying iron, who has basically come to steal away sulfate from copper, and that is basically just the displacement equation, and that is just copper being sadly left behind. And this is my criteria. I always like to put my criteria close by so I can always check up on it and make sure that I'm doing everything. And I have always checked off all the things once I've completed them so I can keep track easily. This is just to show how iron is more reactive than copper, and that's obviously just that there, and that there again, and I like to make it clear. So I've set it out quite nicely, and this is just basically copper sulfate, and this is the atomic diagram for it, and then I've shown how if you add a strip of iron, it changes it becomes an equation, and it changes copper sulfate to iron sulfate with copper, since iron is more reactive, so it displaces copper and makes it iron sulfate instead of copper sulfate. This is once again the atomic diagram, and I always like to put the atomic diagram because it shows the teacher that you do know what's going on, and you know what you're talking about, and you know what's happening at an atomic level. And in my criteria there was a section that said you should include all the keywords, and I made it very clear by writing them all in purple. So I feel like if they are really looking for something, you should try highlight it in perhaps a different color, or using a highlighter, or underlining it, or just making it very clear so that the teacher can give you those easy marks that they want to give, because the teachers do want to give you marks. They don't look for all the things that they want to take away, they want to give you the marks. And so this is just me writing my paragraph. I didn't have to really talk about copper's properties, but I did anyway. And that is basically me. And that is just me filling out all the criteria that I needed to do. And I always like to cover my borders in my favorite washi tape, and I always like to make that really clean at the edges. And I always also like to use borders for my backgrounds to separate things. And if I want to make something really stand out, I like to use my glittery boards. And you don't have to buy these, I'm sure they can always be somewhere in the corner of your craft box, if you have a craft box. If not, then you can get them very, very cheap from Tiger. I think it's called Flying Tiger now, or Paper Chase, and that is pretty. So if you liked the video, please consider liking it, and that really helps in the YouTube algorithm. It helps recommend it to other people. And if you did enjoy it, please check out my video that is also on science and chemistry, which is me going to the Royal Institute, and that is up here in the corner. And this is just going to be a quick goodbye, but I just want to say consider subscribing if you did enjoy it, because you might find some of my other videos that I do helpful for you as well. And also maybe check out some other videos if you are interested in other things that aren't science or English or many other things that I have on my channel. So I'll see you later. Bye!